Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Sidetrack here, hanging out, feeding my Endoflames. So this is episode 20, I think, in our Let's Play series. And, we've been working on Botania. Botania needs, basically uses flowers to do all kinds of interestingly cool magic-related type things. Our Endoflames are eating up charcoal, because that's what we're feeding them, and they're producing lots of mana. Our day blooms are eating the sun, for lack of a better way to explain it, photosynthesis and all that jazz, and they are producing mana. But you'll notice in a couple seconds that our Endoflames will stop burning, and the amount of mana that's produced is going to dwindle rather quickly. So in this episode, what I'd like to do is to go ahead and automate these Endoflames. Another thing that I'd like to do is to take a look at, oh, my book's already over here, a couple other really neat things that we can do with Botania. And really kind of get to the real reason I wanted to do this, which is these baubles and trinkets, and then mystical items. Now you can make really neat things with Botania. Some of them, like the Pyroclast Pendant, I can't remember if I've shown this already, that'll actually put you out when you're on fire. It won't let you swim in lava or anything, but puts you out. Kind of cool when you're in the nether and accidentally fall in lava, like I do frequently. For that, you're going to need these things called runes. And runes are made on a Runic Altar. Runic Altar is pretty easy. You just take a mana pearl or a mana diamond, and you make these by either throwing a pearl or a diamond into your mana pool, and then you just put living rock around it. So what I want to do is quickly go ahead and make some of these items. I actually have some ender pearls in my inventory. And then play with runes for a little bit, and play with our Runic Altar, and then go ahead and automate these Endoflames. Although one might argue that I should automate first, but I'm not gonna, because I want to play with fun little baubles and trinkets. Okay, so oh yeah, another thing I did between last episode and this episode is I moved these pure daisies over here, and I put a cobblestone down just to kind of give them something to look at, and you will understand more shortly. I also moved over some more stone. Let's see. Yeah, I think we want to use stone. I think I want to have more living stone, because I already have a stack and some change of living wood in my inventory. Cool. So let's go ahead and make this living altar. Not living altar. Runic Altar. So we need living stone, mana pearl, Runic Altar. Excellent. So we're going to go ahead and put this someplace. And I guess, for lack of a better place right now, let's go ahead and stick it, oh, maybe right about here. It's 2 away from this wall, 2 away from that wall, somewhat symmetrical. I'm not sure. And what we need to do with the Runic Altar is the Runic Altar needs a source of mana. So we're going to quite simply drop this right there. And then you will notice that it will send energy right over there. We can right click on the Runic Altar and you'll notice that it's full of mana. Because what it actually does is it takes mana from the mana pool and sends it to wherever you want it to go. So we want it to go to the Runic Altar. Alright, so what kinds of things can we make? Let's go back. Oop, too far. Okay, so there are a bunch of neat things. The Sojourners Sash is really cool. It lets you walk up and down, 1 block heights without jumping. It also gives you a higher jump height, and it resistance to fall damage, which is pretty cool. I would like to go ahead and make this at some point, although I'm going to need to grab some leather first. We're going to have to go murder some cows. Or we could also, let's see, shift click, and if we go ahead and make an Alchemy Catalyst, we can make them in our mana pool. Our Alchemy Catalyst is just going to take some brewing stands, which takes some blaze rods, and I may need to go and grab some blaze rods. Wait a minute, I was looking up Having issues. Brewing stands. Take a look at some brewing stands. We should just blaze rod and some cobblestone. So let me go grab some blaze rods so we can save the cows. That, unless I see cows really quickly and easily. And then we can play with the Alchemy Catalyst. So I'll be back. Gotta go to the nether, kill some blazes. See you in a minute. Okay, back from the nether. So ran and grabbed actually 21 blaze rods. That wasn't nearly as challenging as I thought it was going to be. Found a nice blaze spawner in our nether fortress that we found a couple episodes back. I think one of the next couple tasks we're going to have to do is make an automated blaze spawner, or blaze killer I suppose I should say. But we got some blaze, and I'm all ready to do some of the rest of this stuff. So we're going to need some cobblestone, which of course I forgot. But now I have. So 2 brewing stands, and now we need to make an alchemy catalyst. Catalyst right over here. Alchemy catalyst. We're gonna need some gold, living rock, and a mana pearl. All right. So where'd the gold go? Gold. I don't remember what this looked like now. Okay, I was right. So oops. Gold. Don't have the mana pearl yet. That living rock I think was in the corners. Let's go make, oops, a mana pearl real quick. Thank you much. Mana pearl and alchemy catalyst. Okay, so the alchemy catalyst is kind of an interesting little block. You put it underneath your mana pool. And luckily you can dig under the mana pool without it draining and popping up. So now what we can do is go ahead and throw things in, and I have some flesh somewhere. We can throw our rotten flesh in here, and because of the alchemy catalyst, it will turn into regular old leather, which is great because you don't have to worry about going around killing cows, especially since we don't have a cow farm. Quite useful. Okay, so for the Sojourners Sash, I'm not sure why I think it's, you know, something you're going to hold in your hand. We're going to need leather. We're going to use this mana steel ingot. Mana steel you make by throwing iron into here. I'm going to make a couple of them because we're going to need them later. Make a couple more. Come here. Okay. So the next thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to use our Runic Altar. We're going to need to put things on here. We need mushroom, coal, stone, and 3 mana steel ingots. And these work similar to the way the mushroom, is that all? Similar to the way our apothecary or a petal apothecary works. You can throw things on here, and you'll see they kind of orbit around. I think you can also right-click and place them. So we've got 3 mana steel ingots, 1 block of coal, 1 stone, 1 mushroom. Is that it? Stone, mushroom, 3 blocks. Okay, so the next thing you've got to do is take your Wand of the Forest, and you can see that we should be getting power. You right-click. It tells you that, you know, that is the rune that we're working. It's going to send our mana here. We probably could have put it a lot closer. It would make it charge faster. And we might want to move it once this is done. Didn't think about the charge speed, although I'm not that worried. So this is going to charge, and then once it's done, we are going to have to take some living rock and put it on the altar, and that's going to etch the rune onto the living rock, and we'll end up with 3 runes of whatever this was. Runes of Earth. Excellent. So hopefully we have plenty of mana in here. Yeah, we got lots. But let's go ahead and throw some more coal on here. Eat that coal. There we go. Okay. Lots and lots of... Okay. Almost done. Great. Yeah, there's something really fun about this. It's just, I don't know, it's neat. So you know that it's done because what you'll have is all kinds of really neat particle effects that will come off of your Runic Altar. And should be getting there. There we go. So you can kind of see the little lightning bolts that come off. That's telling you that it's all ready. So we, oops, not that block. We throw it on there, throw it on there, and we right-click with our Wand of the Forest, and now we've got our Runes of Earth. Great. So, let's take a look at our thing one more time. We are going to need to do in a crafting table, air, earth. So we need 3 more, a carpet, a feather, and a string. Well, I've got mana steel, I've got a string, I've got a feather, and I've got carpet. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and Wand of the Forest. This should work. Excellent. So while this works, I'm going to probably cut for a moment until that's all done, but we can go ahead and put our leather up here. Rune of the Earth went on one side. We need another mana steel ingot. And once that is all done, I will cut back and we will go ahead and make our Sojourner staff and test it out. And here we go. So, should have particle effects going on. Excellent. Throw this on here. Right click. There we go. Great. The crafting mechanic in this in Botania is really pretty cool. So, Sojourners Sash. Unfortunately, I've got a full inventory. Give me a second. Alright, Sojourner staff. Pick it on up. Sash. Okay, so we have to go under the Baubles menu. So we click right here. Sojourners Sash. Wait a minute. No, it's, yeah, right here. Fits right there. Cool. So now when we jump, we go a little bit higher. 2 blocks high instead of just 1. The other thing we notice is that if we just run, I'm not jumping, can hop right on up. So pretty cool. Nice. Makes getting around a lot easier. The other thing we notice, let's see. Take a look at how much fall damage I take. Thunk. I still took some fall damage, but not nearly as bad. Okay. And we can fall from a slightly higher height and not take any damage. That wouldn't have hurt anyway. Didn't go very far. Okay, so next up. Let's see, what else do we want to make? Well, there are some neat other things in here. So there's a band of mana that will basically allow us to transport mana around. It's very similar to a mana tablet. However, you can wear it as a ring so that it doesn't actually take up an inventory slot, which is pretty cool. We could also make a band of aura, which will create a slow trickle of mana that will then send that mana to items, like if we had a Bring of Mana, or a band of mana, or a mana tablet. It would slowly charge it. Probably gonna make a band of mana, I think. I'm not quite sure what it takes. We're gonna have a mana tablet, which is pretty easy to make. Mana Pearl, Living Rock. Yeah, we could go ahead and do that. And then the next thing I think would be really cool is the Ring of Magnetization. So basically it acts as a magnet and it pulls items towards you. So to make that, we're going to have to make a mana lens, which is just gold, iron, and a mana lens, which is mana steel and a glass pane. So let me go inside and meet you there. Alright, so mana lens, gold, iron, a magnetizing mana lens, and what was the next thing we had to do? Okay, Ring of Magnetization. Excellent. Now, unfortunately, we are going to equip this Ring of Magnetization, but we are not going to actually get to do anything with it because oh yeah, I picked this up out of a chest at some point, Ring of Protection, because it's, not going to function without mana. So we need to grab a couple more Ender Pearls. I had to bring some Ender Pearls up from downstairs. I'm running out of them up here. I think I made too many item conduits and Botania related things. Okay. Mana Pearl. Mana Pearl goes here, over here. Make a mana tablet. We can go ahead and take our mana tablet, throw it into our mana pool. And right now, if you hover over, our mana pool says accepting mana from items. Well, what if we want it to spare mana, which means send mana to items? So we can throw our mana tablet there, and you can notice that it is now got a cool particle effect. Ah! And mana tablet now has a little bit of mana on it. If you notice that kind of sparkly effect, that was from our ring of magnetization. Zoop. Oh, I think we must have drained all the mana out of here. Okay. Where's my coal? Alright, so we'll get this going. We're going to have to let these charge for a while, I think. Or let this charge up so that we have a nice store of mana. Sucks it up really quickly. Excellent. Okay, so now we can do all kinds of fun things like throw charcoal on the ground. And because we have our ring of magnetization, after a second, zoop, they'll come running towards us. Which is kind of fun and very useful when you're, excavating and look, things come right toward you. All right. So next up, we need to automate these things. So some of the things to know about Endoflames is they actually have a radius around which they will pick up. So if I drop coal 2 blocks away, it'll sit there and it won't get gobbled up. Nope, never mind. 2 blocks will get gobbled up. 1 block, or 2 blocks and 1 block will get gobbled up. But farther than 2 blocks is what I kind of meant to say. Will not. So if we think, 1, 2, 3 blocks away, oh my, this is going to come flying toward me, isn't it? Oh wow. Oh no, that one was close enough to it. Just trust me. 3 blocks away, it won't, but up to 2 blocks away, it will absorb the coal. Another thing to think about is that your Endoflames can actually take items off conveyor belts. Do you see where I'm going with this? So one of the things that you usually see people automate Endoflames using something like, the open crate from Botania, which drops items straight down, which is great. You can, allow it to drop items directly on top of each Endoflame, but you don't really have to drop them right on the Endoflame. They have a radius around which they will pull from. So what we're going to do is set this up, and we're going to have to rearrange our pattern of flowers here, so that we're going to have conveyor belts that kind of come in, and then you're going to be able to pull the charcoal off of the conveyor belt. So let me go grab some materials, and we will craft some things, and move on from there. Back in a minute. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to make some conveyor belts. Now, there are 2 conveyor belts that are added, at least that I know about. There is the Minefactory Reloaded conveyor belt that we are going to make, and there's also an extra utilities conveyor belt that is actually pretty cool. And this one is probably better for those of you whose systems are meh, or maybe playing on a server, because the great thing about these conveyor belts is that they show no animation. Some of you, the flashing, you'll see what I mean. As this conveyor belt moves, it might get on some of your nerves. I kind of like it, so that's what we're going to go with. So we're going to make 32 conveyor belts, and I don't want them to be this orange color. I actually want to dye them green. I don't have a whole lot of cactus, but I do have a lot of creeper plant seeds from some creeper plants that were blowing up out there. So we are going to make some ceramic dye from Minefactory Reloaded, and we're going to dye half of these conveyor belts into this nice dark green color. The other half is going to go into our sorting system for a later purpose. Who knows what. The next thing we need to do is I'm going to make some item collectors, because I want to be able to eject items onto the conveyor belt, and if they don't get sucked up by the Endo Flames, I want them to go back into our system. So we're going to use an item collector. Pretty simple, machine frame, chests, and plastic sheets. We've made all those before. Right there. And now we need a way to get things out of a chest onto the collectors. And since I'm going with Minefactory Reloaded, I figure I'll make an ejector. Pretty simple. We need a pneumatic servo. Is this going to let me? No, of course not. And, oh, I'm missing iron. There we go. And I'm also going to need another machine frame. Make ourselves a tin gear. Make ourselves a machine frame. What am I missing? Throw that up here. And machine frame. Ejector should now be ejected from our machine. Great. So let's run on back outside. I love the speed of the Sojourner staff. Loop, yoop. Okay. So let's think. Let us throw our mana tablet on there. We'll get back in a second. Plenty of room in my inventory. Pick up all these machines. Axe. Mana spreader. Let's go ahead and move the mana pool and our Alchemy Catalyst. And slide this mana spreader over. Alright, so how do we want to do this? Might be the easiest thing to do if we put our ejector right here. Is that going the right way? Excellent. We're going to take our conveyor belts and send them out from the ejector, and then kind of send them off in this direction. Once they get over here, we'll send them back. And we want to end in an item collector. We're going to drop that down, and then have the item collector send things into a chest. I think. Actually, no. Let's do it this way. Water down there. I think I get this to work. So, do I have another item collector? No. Item collector is right here. Item collector. They're being weird and not stacking after you. I think we can do it this way. We shall find out, I suppose. Alright. Okay. That's going that way. Oh, this is going the wrong direction. I was like, something does not look right here. There we go. Okay, so conveyor belts will automatically point, away from you. If we grabbed our hammer, get off, let me off, let me off. Bah. One problem with conveyor belts is you get stuck to them. Okay, and so then this should send things around our Endoflames. So let's go ahead and place our Endoflames down. We are going to need a source of, or basically a mana spreader. And this will be close enough. Right about, gotta face this direction. Right about there should be fine. We'll go ahead and drop our mana pool. As we're kind of working our way closer toward our Runic Altar. And put our other mana spreader right here. Cool. So, if we take some charcoal and we throw it onto our conveyor belt, we should note that in just a moment it's going to get absorbed by some of our Endoflames. And a couple of the other ones we've got. Of course, I'm stuck on the conveyor belt again. Okay, maybe Mine Factory related conveyor belts was not the smartest thing in the world. There's something that you can press to get off of these. I'm almost positive, but I don't remember what it is. Maybe it's like rubber boots or something. Okay, so a couple of those charcoals must have landed into this chest. What we're going to have to do in order to get them out of the chest is you apply a redstone signal to the ejector. And every time it gets a redstone signal, it will output an item. So what we're going to want to do is devise a method to A, get charcoal into this chest, and B, produce some kind of redstone signal. So to get charcoal into the chest, I think the easiest thing to do would be just to send some of these inventory cables over here and then just set a program to say, hey, put charcoal in here. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll be right back, and actually I'll dig it out so you don't have to watch me dig. Okay, so nice long tunnel. It actually works out to come right here next to our other inventory manager. So let's go ahead and bring these all the way back along. Kind kind of dark in here. Hopefully I don't fall. Okay, good. Okay. Inventory manager or inventory cable. Inventory cable. We can, yeah, just pretty much do that. And then right here we're going to put a redstone emitter so that it's, you know, right here, so we can apply a redstone signal directly to our ejector. And the other thing we're going to want to do, because we are going to want to pay attention to the amount of mana within our mana, whatever this thing is called, mana pool. If we put a redstone comparator right next to it, it will output a signal relative to the strength of how much, you know, mana is in here. So if we go under here and dig on along over here, we can connect this into the rest of our factory manager blocks. So redstone receiver, right about there. We'll put our comparator that will just send stuff right into our redstone receiver. So it's off to write a program, and then hopefully we can get this thing started. Back in a second. Alright, let me quickly show you what I've got. So I did a new Botania group. Under Botania I have coal to chest, which simply says every 60 seconds, bring in some charcoal and send 64 charcoal to that chest all the way at the end that we're looking at. Pretty simple. The other command I have is to check the mana content. So it is going to, every 5 seconds, and I may need to tweak that a little bit, every 5 seconds it's going to call a redstone condition, which is this one, create redstone condition. It's going to look at this redstone receiver that we have over there in Botania, any side, if it's a 14 or a 15. If it's a 14 or a 15, then we're just going to set that emitter that's out there, and we're going to set its output to 0. So it will not put any redstone signal. I probably didn't need to do this. I probably could have left that off and just said, if true, nothing happens, but, you know, whatever. And if it's false, meaning if we do not receive a signal from that, our comparator that we're going to build and put out there, then do emit a pulse of a strength of 15 on all sides. So that should be pretty cool. So we're going to go out there and take a look at it and see what it's doing. I'm going to make a timer, and I actually have to make a NOT gate, both of which we've made, so I'll make those and meet you out there with them. Okay, well, this part at least is working. So every 5 seconds seems to be a little too short, but we've got coal that's just going around in circles. Some of you are probably dying because there's this loop, but that's okay. I'm not going to complain. I'm the only one playing on my server. So we're creating a nice supply of mana, but now we do have to worry about this overflowing because we need to set up our system. So if we do our comparator, why do I have a timer? I didn't do a comparator, I did a timer. I'm a tard. Give me a second. Alright, we're back with a comparator. Let's go ahead and drop it down, and you can see that it's outputting a redstone signal. But it's going to output a very weak redstone signal. And you know, this redstone receiver is smart enough to realize that, you know, right now it's probably a redstone signal of like a 1 or a 2. How full is this? Yeah, something around there. Maybe, yeah, probably a 1. And so it's emitting a redstone signal of 1 here, and our program says, okay, it's not a 14 or a 15, keep sending the coal. Great. So once this fills up, we should note that this will stop sending out coal, but we'll have to find out once we actually get to that point, because we're not there yet. Okay, so what else can we do? So you notice, actually, I didn't need the NOT gate. While I was making the program, I thought I was going to need it, and then I realized that I didn't, and I forgot that. They don't call me Sidetrack for nothing. So we're actually developing a huge mana pool. But let's go ahead and put our day blooms down. They're really not going to do a whole awful lot, you know, relatively. Let's put them right there. Looks kind of cheery and festive. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, it's about time to wrap up. It really is, unfortunately. So we've got to do a lot of cool things. We've automated our setup here. We have tons of charcoal in the form of our automated trees, and you know, we know that we have lots and lots of trees and lots of charcoal, and you know, our woodcutter is cutting wood when it needs to. Next episode, I'm going to probably play with some of this stuff a little more right in the beginning, but then maybe start working on some other things. I'm not sure. I would like to make some more baubles and accessories. There's some really cool things in here that I like to play with, and now that we have a great source of mana, we can do so fairly simply without having to throw charcoal on these Endoflames every time. So, without further ado, until next time, this is Sidetrack signing off. Have a great day, folks.